back to Native Trails Roundtable. I'm Abby Roberts, your district executive, and here with me today is Ted Stowen. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Abby. Thank you for having me.
So we have a lot of really important things to talk about with Ted today. So I'm going to keep announcements brief. I'm just going to go over a few important details. You can find more scouting news and announcements in the Need to Know page linked in the description. So we'll start with our holiday office hours. Things are going to be a little different as we move into the holiday season. iCamp Scout Center will be closed on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day. We'll be closed again on New Year's Day, open January 2nd, and roundtables will take place as usual. And then we will be closed again on January 3rd for Inventory Day. If you have questions, we will have all this posted on our website and on our social media pages, and you can call the office as well. The district dinner is on Friday, January 24th in the Deaconess Pavilion on the Gateway campus. Every volunteer in our district is invited to come to that dinner to celebrate the 2019 year, all of our accomplishments, and we'll also be giving some awards out to some special volunteers. We hope you can make it for dinner, fun, fellowship, and trivia night. Recharter is due on January 31st. If you have not picked up your recharter packet, you need to do that right away. Contact me and we can work something out if you can't get to the office. There are 3 Merit Badge universities coming up. Algonquian districts will be on January 11th at Vincennes University. Native Trails District will be on February 8th at USI. And there will be one in Lincoln Heritage District on March 14th at Vincennes University Jasper campus. Algonquian and Native Trails are ready for registrations now, and Lincoln Heritage will be coming up soon. Troops and crews, save the date for the Winter Camporee. This is one you won't want to miss. All activities will center around the Pioneering Merit Badge, and scouts will have the opportunity to participate in chariot races, cooking contests, and other really fun activities. And it's time to start thinking about the 2021 National Jamboree. Now is the time to start planning whether you're going to attend and getting signed up and start looking at what the fees will be. We will have a contingent for Buffalo Trace Council going to the National Jamboree, which will be July 21st through the 30th, 2021. The National Jamboree is open to any registered scout who is at least a first class scout and 12 years old by the first day of the Jamboree, and not yet 18 by the end of the Jamboree. Find out more by going to buffalotracecouncil.org. All the information is linked on the front page. And now for a membership minute.
I'm Tanya. I'm the membership chair for Native Trails District. And I wanted to talk to you just a moment about rechartering. As a part of the rechartering process, we'd like for you to contact those scouts that have maybe been absent the last few months. Maybe they came to a few meetings and then haven't been back. Maybe you haven't seen them at all. We want to give them a call and just check in with them, find out what's going on. Maybe there is a scheduling challenge. Maybe there's transportation issues. They may have had a life event at home that's affecting their attendance. Lots of things can happen. And of course, there's a possibility that there's a personality conflict with another scout, with a leader. We just want to address those issues and resolve them as much as we can. There's lots of solutions to those problems that end with the scouts still participating in Boy Scouts. So we want to take the moment while we have that opportunity, before we sign them back up or drop them from our roster, to just contact them and check in and see what we can do to resolve any challenges that they're having. I hope you guys have a great holiday season, and we'll see you next year.
Thank you, Tanya. Now we're here to talk with Ted Stowen about scouting safely. If you're an Eagle Scout?
Yes.
You are a founding member of a Cub Scout Pack?
Pack 317, yep.
Yes. You are an Assistant Scoutmaster?
With Troop 301.
And a member of our Risk Management Council Committee?
Yes.
All right. So what does the Risk Management Committee do?
Our main focus is to keep our scouts safe.
Mm-hmm.
We try to implement all the guidelines that come down from the national office. We inspect and look over properties that we may be having activities on for the units. And we mitigate and get rid of any hazards that we may see on these properties, so we don't have the scouts get hurt.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we also look at any incidents reports that may came in from some of these activities like resource camp, and we try to find see if there's a common denominator on these to make sure that if anything happens, we can stop that in the future. For example, one of the things we saw this year from resource camp was dehydration, and that's such an easy item to fix. And I know from being a scoutmaster myself that it's much easier said than done to get these scouts to drink the water. But if they would drink the water, that would eliminate a lot of those incidents that we had at resource camp. So that, and then also we look over the new guidelines that are coming down from National, and National has put down quite a few new ones for this year that I think our viewers are going to need to want to go online and look at the updates that have been put in place.
Okay. Yeah, so our risk management team is all about mitigating risk for our youth. Scouting in itself is inherently risky. We're encouraging our scouts to go outdoors and to try new things and to have amazing experiences. But there are ways that we as adult leaders can mitigate those risks. So we have a lot of resources through the National Council to help us reduce risk. And all adults in our scouting program are asked to commit themselves to creating a safe and healthy environment by knowing and executing the BSA program as contained in our publications, planning tours, activities, and events with vigilance using the tools provided, setting the example of safe behavior and equipment use during program, engaging and educating all participants in discussions about hazards and risks, and reporting incidents in a timely manner. So how do we keep youth and adults safe in our program? Do you want to talk about some of the resources?
Well, online there's what's called Guidelines of Safe Scouting. And you go on the BSA website and you can Google the Guide to Safe Scouting. And there'll be tabs in there that'll show you multiple items that you may be looking for. For example, you may be doing some watercraft, and you'll want to look at all the different watercraft rules that are out there to keep your scout safe. There's also different ones for just playing ball, volleyball, basketball. All these things all come with inherent risk that we need to mitigate. And all these are all listed in the Guide to Safe Scouting.
Yes, the Guide to Safe Scouting is a great publication. I really like to use the online version. Then you can read through the whole thing, and then if you have questions and you want to go back and revisit, you can just search and find the terms that you need to find exactly what you want back in that Guide to Safe Scouting.
And one of the advantages to doing it online is you'll see all the updates that are been put out there. You never know when National is going to be putting something out, so it's really a good idea to just get on there from time to time and see what may be listed that they just put out. One of the ways you can do this is through the Scouting newsletter that is on one of the tabs. The Scouting newsletter is put out every so often. I believe it's about every quarter, and you can look at that and find out exactly what's been put out for that previous quarter.
Yes, so the Guide to Safe Scouting, usually updated quarterly or at least or bi-yearly, and then you can find all those updates in Safe Scouting newsletter. So there's another resource out there called Age Appropriate Guidelines for Scouting Activities, and we'll put a picture of that up on the screen. But what does that do for our leaders?
Well, what that does, that actually breaks down exactly what type of group you've got, whether it's Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Ventures, and you can actually look and see what is age appropriate activity for that particular group. It is online, like Gabby said, and it's real easy to go by. You just kind of look at the program that you're wanting to do, and age appropriate sheet will show you what is available for that particular group.
Yeah, and I really like how it breaks it down so you can see what lions can do, what tigers can do, wolf and bears are categorized together, and then scouts in a troop versus scouts in a venturing crew. So it's pretty detailed and it's a great resource. And then there's also the Sweet 16 of BSA safety, which isn't something I knew about when I initially started working here. So what are the Sweet 16?
Well, the Sweet 16 are actually 16 points that are in the Guide to Safe Scouting that highlight basically just 16 points that they want us to keep in focus when we're doing these activities.
Yeah, and those Sweet 16 are qualified supervision, physical fitness, the buddy system, safe area or course, equipment selection and maintenance, personal safety equipment, safety procedures and policies, skill level limits, weather check, planning, communications, plans and notices, first aid resources, applicable laws, CPR resource, and discipline. And all those they go into pretty good detail about what each one is and how you should implement it.
And the one thing we don't want to forget about is, of course, our youth protection program that we have. Youth protection is very important for not only for our youth, but also the adults. We ask that you do that yearly, especially right now before recharter, so that I believe it's required for recharter.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Every 2 years.
Yeah. So make sure that you're up to date so you can get your charter done.
So you and your unit took all the precautions, you read all the materials, did everything right, but someone still got hurt. Now what?
So if somebody gets hurt, we need to make sure we get them to the hospital first, if they need to go to the hospital. Otherwise, just first aid treatment. Once we know that scout or adult is doing all right, you want to make sure you get an incident report filled out. The incident report needs to be filled out within 1 or 2 days. We ask that be done within that amount of time, because it's still fresh in your mind and you've got all the information still pretty accessible. Once that is filled out, get it to the council office so that they can process as needed, and also if any insurance needs are required, that can be taken care of as well.
All right, so take your injured person to the hospital or give them first aid as needed. Report the incident to iCamp Scout Center. If that's an email to your district professional, a call during business hours, whatever works better, and you can do the quickest. Complete the incident report within 1 to 2 business days, which will require personal information for the injured party, like their address, their phone number. It has to be completely filled out, and it will also ask for witness statements. So you do want a few different witnesses who can explain what happened, how it happened, any hazards they saw, and give as much detail as possible. And then we have the insurance paperwork that you would give the injured party's family, and that insurance acts as secondary to their own. So if they do have to go to the hospital, they would defer paying the copay or any other expenses at that time, complete and send off the insurance paperwork, and then the BSA insurance would cover anything that their insurance didn't. And the last thing I think that the family needs to be aware of is that they might get contacted by National or by the council risk management team or scout executive to get more details or get a better idea of what happened. So they might have extra questions.
That's right. And Abby, there's one more report that we like to see from time to time, and that's called the near miss report. The near miss report is there to help us limit any future accidents that could be happening that we're not seeing. For example, if someone is at camp and they happen to trip into a hole, we'd like to make sure that hole gets filled up.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way we can find out about it is if it's been reported to us. So these common denominators that may come from different troops on these near miss reports, we can start putting them together and start filling in the blanks and fixing things.
Yes. So we've got the Guide to Safe Scouting, the age-appropriate guidelines, the Sweet 16 of Safe Scouting, the incident report, and the near miss report. It's a lot to remember, so everything is linked in the description below for your convenience. Thank you so much for being here to talk to us about safety with us, Ted.
Thank you, Abby.
And we hope you all have a great holiday season.
Merry Christmas.